Israel's war on Gaza has now reached day 251. That's right, 251 days of an imperial onslaught and a genocidal war against the Palestinian people inside of the Gaza Strip. And we begin the report, as we always do, with the numbers. As of today, as of right now, 37,232 people have been killed, and 85,037 people have been wounded in Israel's war on Gaza since October 7th. Again, 37,232 people have been killed, 85,037 have been wounded. And of course, the death toll in Israel from Hamas's attack on October 7th is 1,139, with dozens of people remaining captive, hostage, kidnapped inside of Gaza. The numbers stay the same every day. The rates stay the same. The numbers go up. They never stay the same. That's actually the point, right? Is that we never have a day where nobody dies. And that's because Israel's nonstop war continues in every sector of the Gaza Strip. Some people are dying from bullets. Some people are dying from bombs. Some people are dying from starvation. Some people are dying from dehydration. But people are dying daily. And today is no different. Today and last night, even Israeli helicopter gunships, attack drones, and warplanes descended onto Rafah as Palestinian fighters engaged Israeli troops in running street battles. Rafah continues to be an intense battleground. I know for a while, Rafah was the site and the target. There was fear. There was fear-mongering, there was trepidation. But what would happen long before Ramadan, the idea was we could stop this whole thing with the ceasefire so that there'd be no struggle during Ramadan, and went through Ramadan and went through every other day of these 251 days. And then finally, there was an attempt at a ceasefire. And Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, said, well, no matter what, we're still going to attack Rafah. The world said, don't attack Rafah. The world said that if you attack Rafah, there will be a humanitarian crisis, a disaster. And that's exactly what happened. And it continues to wage on right now with no global mechanism of accountability, no teeth to any kind of censure or rebuke or criticism. And so the Gaza Strip, and Rafah in particular, continues to be a site of extraordinary and disturbingly preventable violence. President Biden spoke out about the proposed ceasefire deal, saying now that he did not expect to see a Gaza ceasefire deal in the near future. Reporters asked him if there'd be a truce soon. He said no. If President Biden isn't even pretending, not even putting up a pretense that the violence is going to stop, that a truce is going to come, that a ceasefire deal is going to come, there is absolutely no hope. Now, Biden says he hasn't lost hope. And I personally never lose hope in the people or in the possibilities of the world transforming in dramatic and previously unforeseeable ways. I am down for transformation. That's possible. But right now, Hamas and Israel are at an impasse, and by the sources I've spoken to, and I haven't gotten the details of the hangups, but I have been told there are lots of hangups. There are several hangups that are simply non-negotiables. Hamas has some things they're not willing to let go of, and Israel some things that they're not willing to let go of. It's very clear that unless Israel engages in a full and complete withdrawal, Hamas is not going to accept this, because any Israeli presence means a constant onslaught and a constant bombardment and a constant sense of unsafety for the Palestinians in Gaza. And of course, Israel is saying, well, if we don't have a permanent presence there, we're vulnerable to more October 7th. And Hamas is saying, well, it won't be October 7th if we have peace, self-determination, freedom, etc. So there's a back and forth about that. The other back and forth, of course, is that Hamas does not want to lose power. No one fights so that they can be out of office. And Israel's non-negotiable, I'm sure, is Hamas no longer rules the Gaza Strip. That's a promise that Netanyahu made to the Israeli people and to the world, and it's something that the world seems to believe as well. So, as in a certain way, and so the idea of moving forward with a ceasefire, where Israel leaves and Hamas walks out of office, seems like a non-starter. Seems like a non-negotiable, which takes us back here to this place, as President Biden has aptly said for once, like, it ain't happening soon. And as long as it doesn't happen soon, there'll be more death. At least 14 Palestinians were killed in Gaza City today, early today. At least 14. These are from Israeli airstrikes. The airstrikes were not in military targets. They were on residential buildings. Now, Israel will say that there were 10 million Hamas leaders in there, and if they hadn't struck the residential building, everyone else would have died. And so Jack Bauer style, they have a whole narrative. But sorry, I got the hiccups there for a second. It's not clear what the military intelligence told them. It's not clear if there were legitimate military targets or military combatants in the building, or even how they come to construct or imagine what a military combatant is. So we're in a tough road when you see 14 people die just in that residence. And that wasn't the only set of deaths that happened in Gaza. Again, we're at 37,232 people in 251 days. Now, I ain't no math whiz, but I'm gonna pull out this calculator real quick and say 37,232 divided by 251 is 148 people a day. 148 people a day die. 148 people a day are dying in Gaza. Can you imagine 148 Israelis dying a day in the world standing like this? Could you imagine 148 French people, English, British, whatever, Americans, Russians? 148 a day, and the world is doing nothing. Something we got to talk about, something we got to think about. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that is the Gaza update. Thank you for watching. Just keep watching every single day. We'll continue to give you coverage of the war in Gaza and the war on Gaza, because this is indeed an imperial genocidal war on the Palestinian people.